President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima's frequent foreign trips have sparked concerns and criticism among Nigerians. Since assuming office in May 2023, both leaders have embarked on numerous international visits purportedly aimed at fostering diplomatic relations and attracting foreign investment. Just last night, the president returned to Abuja following a 2-week vacation in the United Kingdom. He touched down at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport on Saturday at around 7:20 p.m. However, critics argue that the frequent trips distract from addressing pressing domestic issues, including security challenges, economic instability, and rising inflation. Tinubu's recent trips to countries such as the United States, France, and the United Kingdom have drawn particular scrutiny, with many questioning the effectiveness and outcomes of these engagements. Political analysts suggest that while international relations seem crucial, the government must balance foreign diplomacy with urgent domestic reforms to improve the lives of ordinary Nigerians.
The kind of work he's been doing in the last year and a half requires some rest, and he's gone and he's back now, and he's well rested, rejuvenated, and again, it was even just a working holiday anyway, so he was working and resting at the same time. Now that he's back in Nigeria, all hands are back on deck, and he's ready to go. Just to continue from where he left off in terms of putting policies in place and making sure things are done right, making sure we're going the right direction. He's the captain of the captain of the plane, and he's working to get to a cruising level, which is exactly where we're going. And in a matter of time, Nigerians will begin to see the fruits of his labor and our labor. And so, I mean, just we're all expectant and hopeful, and we believe in the renewed hope. And Mr. President is back in Nigeria to continue the good work he's doing.
Joining me to discuss this and other raging national issues about Nigeria is Senator representing Abia North Senatorial District, who was also governor of Abia State for 8 years, Senator Orji Uzor Kalu. Senator Kalu, good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining me on This Day Live, the Sunday talk show.
Thank you very much, Rumes.
Well, Senator Kalu, well, you've been in the news lately, but before I go to that other subject, let's talk about President Tinubu just returning to the country 17 days after. And then, of course, the president, since May 2023, has traveled for a record 29 times. The vice president has traveled virtually every month, a total of 17 times. Now, the vice president is going to Samoa tomorrow. Just landing from Sweden, he jets off to Samoa. The president went from UK to France. We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe in another 1 week, the president too will jet off somewhere else. So Nigerians are concerned. They say, how can these people provide leadership if they are perpetually, jetting about from one part of the globe to the other? I know you say President Tinubu is a man you admire a lot. Well, what do you admire in leaders who do not sit at home to do the work?
Thank you, Ruben, for having me. The presidential job is always a very difficult job to do, and leaders have a lot of commitments internationally, meeting their counterparts all over the world and attending to businesses of the state, both conferences and other things. And remember, when I was governor, we had a president that traveled in 1 year for almost 300 times. So there's nothing new in a president traveling. The important thing that a president must meet and the vice president must meet commitments they had all over Nigeria. So I do not think there's anything new in any president or any foreign minister, any vice president traveling abroad, because they all have conferences and commitments to meet up all over the world.
Well, what we hear is that domestic policy drives foreign policy. And we don't see leaders in other parts of the world going about, like smallpox all over the world. They sit at home. Yes, they travel to engage in diplomatic relations. But Nigerians are concerned that these are our own leaders. They don't want to sit at home to do the job. In fact, the recent incident was that both of them traveled the same time.
Well, Dr. Akpati, there's nothing wrong in president and vice traveling the same time. Yesterday, the president of the United States was in Germany. That does not make he's no longer the president. I'm not holding forth for anybody. At least, Ruben, you know me. I can say things the way it is. President Tinubu have a right to travel. The vice president have a right to travel. But I know the travelings can be curtailed. But it's not what we should be thinking about. I know things are very difficult in Nigeria. Nigerian people are not very happy. It's not the right time when to travel. But it's a commitment as a head of a country and also the vice president of a country, the commitment they have in climate change, in conferences, diplomatic relationship all over the world. So I think they have a right to travel.
Okay, Senator Kalu, you've been quoted as saying that in 2027, you would like to be a president. If President Tinubu is not running, you will put yourself forward to represent your party as presidential candidate. So if you say, well, if Tinubu is interested, are you saying that President Tinubu has done so well that he deserves a second term, given the fact that Nigerians are facing a lot of economic hardship? Are you giving him a pass mark, or there are certain things you think he has done that will not make him eligible for a second term?
No, there's nothing. President Tinubu have done very well in what the IMF want us to, and the World Bank want us to be doing as economic reforms. But in those reforms, Nigerian people have to be alive to face those reforms. And I believe that I cannot contest, because all over the world, you have a presidential candidate, like in America, you have a presidential candidate who is a sitting president, who is very healthy, very competent. It's just that Nigerian people are killing themselves with rumors, with all kinds of things. It's not easy. If you have a demographic or a pictorial context where I live, where I'm living, I've lived here for 32 years, and it's very close to the villa. I've seen all the presidents, and I see how they run. And it's not just an easy job to be president of Nigeria. Tinubu is following and a well-led IMF World Bank program, but Nigerian people believe that the program is not good for them, and Nigerian people are hungry. And if you are hungry, I think we should come to a moderation of that program. We should be able to negotiate with the World Bank, with the IMF, on where to put us up. But otherwise, it's a very difficult thing because we have never had economists for 60 years, and President Tinubu is trying to put back all the institutions we have to give them face. We have no face in most of the institutions. We have no economy. We just do whatever we like to do. We stand up and do it quickly today. And people will complain will change. I pity President Tinubu when the World Bank Vice President at the Nigeria Economic Summit said that we need 50 years to get where we're supposed to be. And I feel so sad because we have to rule people who are alive. You know, Ruben, you know me, I say the truth. You know me, I cannot bend words because I'm Tinubu's friend or because I've known him for over 35 years. And the truth is that he means well, but Nigerian people are suffering. Are we going to use what the IMF are telling us to go ahead, or we are going to sit down and cook what would be a local economic policy for survival? Those things are left for Nigerians to decide. And that is the truth, Dr. Akpati.
Okay. Many Nigerians say you support President Tinubu during the 2023 general elections.
Sure.
And even now, that you are doing it for survival purposes. That after all, when you had a case, a 7.5 billion case after your tenure ended as governor of Abia State, and a court first convicted you, that it was under President Tinubu that that case has been dismissed due to a lack of diligent prosecution, incompetent filing of processes, and the EFCC was even prohibited from ever bringing up the case again, all on technical grounds. Well, one good turn deserves another. If a man has been nice to you, his government has been nice to you, is that why you are always saying, well, President Tinubu is good, is the best thing since the invention of toothpaste?
No, Dr. Akpati, I think I respect you a lot. I know you very much for a very long time. And you know me, I have a strong character. I had case with EFCC, and I appeared in court every day for 12 years. I never ran away. I wasn't away. I never missed the court sitting. I'm not the kind of people who will not sit in court. But I want to remind you that if you give back people, I don't want to talk about the judiciary because it will be like discussing a case that was in court or is in court or have been treated. All the discussion of the case were not done under President Tinubu. Let me tell you, I was in court and had 19 witnesses, and none of those witnesses found anything against me. While I was jailed, it's only left to God. And I'm very grateful to God that I went to that jail. It made me to see the bad, the good, and the ugly. And I'm very happy. Mind you, that year, I was supposed to have gone to Wuhan on the 9th of December. And COVID came up in Wuhan. Maybe you could have been singing my funeral song by now. But let me tell you, I'm not even afraid of death. You should know me, Ruben. And I'm not afraid of anybody. I speak the truth. I support my party. I support the president who is president from my party. Ruben, I cannot support you because you are not a presidential candidate. And you are not ruling Nigeria. So even in Bible, God said we should pray and support our leaders. And that is exactly what I'm doing. So if you want to be a journalist, Ruben, be a journalist. If you want to be a politician, leave the journalism and come and be politicians like us. I have left a millions of dollars company to come and be in politics. You can behave like me, and you know I'm the largest employer of labor media in Nigeria. I'm the highest employer of labor in media, in factories. Apart from Aliko Dangote, I don't think any other Nigerian employment, Nigerians than I put in manufacturing, in social media, paper media, and other media. So we have a chunk, just in media, your own section, I have like 2,000 workers there. And in other factories, I have like 13 to 14,000 workers in this country. So not even in the sub-region of Africa. So Dr. Akwati, please, if you want to be a member of a political party, you come and join APC, or you join Properly Labour Party, or you join PDP. So we can know you are a member of a political party. Don't hang under being a journalist and harassing people like me. I will not take it from you.
No, I'm not harassing you.
Not proper. It's insulting. No, you are harassing me because you cannot be continuing telling me I took... Abia people, none of the money is missing.
No, on the contrary.
They put me in prison for presidential election. It was politically, and you should know that. So if you want to be a politician like me, you should come over.
Well,
you know me. I lived in Lagos with you. I've been in Lagos with you.
Senator.
So it is...
on the contrary.
No. You have to be balanced.
No, I'm just giving you feedback.
Mix languages. If you want to...
I'm just giving you feedback.
No, not feedback. Why must you talk about that? Is that the state of nation today? That is insulting to get me back.
Okay. Let me put it in context.
I was... No, not let you. Listen, I was governor of Abia, and the Abia people are very happy with me. I'm senator of Abia, and they are very happy with me. And if I go for election in those areas any day, I will win. I have never rigged the election. I have never asked anybody to write the election for me. I have believed in the rules. When I had case, I faced myself to the judiciary. Ask all the judges that try me. I appear in the court. I have opportunity to run away and live outside. I have businesses in West African countries. I have businesses elsewhere. I can be sustained anywhere. But I can never do that because I know that this is our country.
Okay, Senator.
I am an Igbo man to a heart.
Okay, just to put it in
And I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of anything, anybody. Because for you to tell me I'm supporting President Tinubu because I'm afraid of being tried, it's insulting. He's president of Nigeria. If you don't respect him for anything at all, respect him that he's president of Nigeria.
Okay, Senator.
He did not buy it in the market. He ended it.
Senator, just a follow-up question. You made the point that, look, I mean, you are into businesses, you are, a media mogul, which I know very well, being in the same industry. After all, there was a year you were, quoted by, listed by Forbes International as one of the richest Africans and one of the richest Nigerians, which is why Nigerians are surprised that you will grant an interview and you'll be saying that, the 14 million that you earn as a senator, everything, including everything, is not enough. That is not enough even for you to, go to your constituency. Nigerians are asking, what is that 14 million spent upon? Just to buy fuel? And they say, after all, you have a private jet. Maybe you don't use it again. You fly commercial flight. But even then, 14 million is a lot of money. At a time, Nigerians can't get 70,000 naira minimum wage.
No, Ruben, let me tell you, I heard that you people in Arise discussed that. What I told Sheung of another television, I said that 14 million is too little for my colleagues. Mind you, these are people who have made politics their career. These are people who earn no other income. I'm not talking only about myself. I sit with some of my colleagues who need help from me, who need help from other colleagues, who the 14 million cannot even do to work. I use that 14 million. I can show you, Ruben, I want you to take me on 3 weeks' time. I will provide you an asset banking account where I use that 14 million to pay my staff salary. Out of the 14 million, 9.8 million goes to staff salaries. I will provide it for you. An asset bank will bear witness. I will take an affidavit in the court of competent jurisdiction. So it becomes a legal document. So you can take me to court. So let me tell you, out of 14 million, I pay 9.8 million to salaries of my staff in the constituency and in the office in Abuja. And these are money that provided not only for me to put in my pocket. It's not my money. It's the money of office of a senator representing Abia North. Those money is if my aides are traveling, they need to pay transport from there to go to Abia to the constituency. If my aides are sick, they need to get that money to treat themselves. If I am sick, I have to get from there to treat myself. We need to repair the cars I will use, the committee cars, we need to repair everything that we need to do. And dressing allowance is there. Any allowance you talk is encompassing. This is what I said, and I don't shy away from it. And to my colleagues who are senators, that is not enough for them. That is the truth. Because I sit in the Senate, I interact with my colleagues who are senators. And they talk to me, they talk to others, we talked among ourselves. If you check 14 million naira, which I get and most other people get, it is nothing to people who work, who are not even elected, who are being given so much money for doing nothing. So the 14 million makes sense. I pity Nigerian people because of the solid economic reconstruction we are doing now. We have wiped out the middle class. We have wiped out almost everything. But it will come back. I pity Nigerian people, especially the poor of the poorest. You know me, my foundation, Orji Uzor Kalu Foundation, is doing a lot. Not only my constituency, all over. So I cry when you and your colleagues celebrated me saying 14 million and I become a rogue and a thief. I am happy you said that Fox acclaimed me as a billionaire, and Fox cannot rate me now because I'm in politics. They were rating me from 2007 to 2019. If I'm out of politics now, and mind you, Ruben, I'm the only politician in sub-Saharan Africa, if not indeed Africa, that Forbes have rated as a billionaire. There's no other politician, no other person in politics they will rate, because they know I have verifiable businesses in banking, in shipping, and all the rest of them, and manufacturing.
Okay, Senator, I know that you once called for a part-time legislature for Nigeria. And your argument then was that you were proposing that to save, to reduce the cost of governance. So your critics, after, some of the recent statements they made, they are saying that, isn't this a case of contradiction? A senator who says we should reduce the cost of governance by making the legislative work part-time is now saying the money that legislators get is not enough. How do you justify that? How do you clarify that?
I still call for legislators to be part-time, and whether you like it or not, whenever I'm saying, if you want to pay your legislator, you pay your legislators so they can do the job. I'm telling you, 14 million for you to pay to the legislators. I said this to another channel that is not your television, that is insufficient to my colleagues. And I stand by what I've told you. Because they buy petrol, they pay electricity bill in their houses, they pay their workers, they have workers as I have, they pay all the bills. Nobody buys our tickets wherever you go. I use private jets, yes, but do my colleagues use private jet? The answer is no. They fly the commercial plane. If they are going with 3/8, they are going with anybody, they have to pay for it. So this is what we are saying, Ruben. And I know that Nigerian people are in deep hunger and economic crisis. We cannot worship two gods. It's either we face what we have. I pity the poor of the poorest, honestly, to my heart, to my mind. This is the truth. And I still believe that Nigerian legislators should be part-time. So there's no contradiction in what I'm saying. But the question is that did the money you pay them is enough? The answer is no. So I don't want you journalists to be making noise about these things, because you journalists are taking legislators for a ride. I'm a legislator. And I employ 14,000, 15,000 Nigerians. 2,000 are in your profession. So I don't know why anybody should insult me. It is not good. When I'm speaking, most of you should listen, because what I speak is the truth. I'm not a stooge to anybody. I'm not a housekeeper to anybody. I speak to the truth. I speak to Nigerians to tell them the truth. If they want the truth, they can hear it from me. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of anybody doing anything to me. Like you just say, I'm supporting Tinubu because I have a 7-point-something billion. I had 19 witnesses, and nobody said I did anything. They just put me in jail because of 2003 election, and I give glory to God. I have no regrets in going to jail. It makes me a better person, if you don't know. Because I have seen the best, the worst, and the odd you can see in life. There's nothing more to see. And it makes me to be a more reasonable person. So don't use it as a brag friend. Tinubu is my personal friend, apart from being president of Nigeria. I've known him for many years, and nothing can come in between us. So I'm not afraid of anything. And you say he used his position to tell the judges to throw away my case. It's not true. It's not a statement of fact. Tinubu is the president of Nigeria, and there's independence between the judiciary. I've told another station that Nigerian judiciary is one of the strongest judiciary you have in Africa. I have business, I have banks, I have insurance companies all over Africa. And I know the kind of judgments that have been given against us. And I know no Nigerian judge. You can see the improvement in judiciary in the courts of appeal, Supreme Courts are there. Only the courts in the hinterland that we are having problems with. I'm sure the new Chief Justice of Nigeria will find a way to make the justices in the hinterland to wake up and stop giving conflicting judgments. Dr. Akpati, please.
Okay. Well, another issue, as part of the public reaction to some of your recent statements in the media, a group called Budget Nigeria, they said, oh, there is a road, Aroipu Umunauchi local government area in Abia State, which is...
No, Aroipa.
Okay. Aroipa Umunauchi local government area of Drainage State, which is, a 350-kilometer road and with drainage, and the signage there says Senator Orji Uzor Kalu is the facilitator. Now, Budget Nigeria is saying that that road is in a mess, and that, what exactly are you doing, having promised to be the facilitator. However, I went to your Twitter page, now called X, and I saw that, your Twitter page outlines a number of projects that you have done, schools that have been built, facilities that have been provided for communities in your constituency. But Budget Nigeria flagged this particular project in that local government that I have mentioned. For the benefit of the critics of this particular road project, what do you have to say to them?
Well, thank you, Dr. Akwati. The Aroipa road is supposed to be about 345 kilometers, not 350 kilometers. If you are talking about 350 kilometers, it means we are going from Abia to almost heading to Lagos. They are supposed to be about 5 or 4 kilometers. When you do a budget, I don't work with the executive. I don't give contracts. I don't know anything about contracts. When I facilitate to get these things, I must be very thankful both to President Mohamed Buhari and President Bola Tinubu. Since I became senator, they have supported our constituency, and I'm very proud of both of them. Anybody can say anything they want to say, but I'm very proud of this president. So, President, when you make a budget for a road, for example, budgets are done like 1 year ago. The budgets you did 1 year ago to do the same 1 kilometer road are not going to be the same thing, according to what this MDS and all of them told my office in the Senate told me. Because when you make a budget, like when we were making budget last year, the dollar was at 700 naira to $1. And now they are about to award those contracts. For example, I'm giving you an example. I'm not saying it's certain. These projects are coming overhead. Prices of diesel, prices of fuel, prices of foreign exchange, prices have gone up. And instead of this road doing 1 kilometer, this road will be able to do possibly half a kilometer. So what is written in the sign is not what we are going to do. And what we estimated to do is not what we are doing until you have the next budget. Nobody can track me. I'm not looking for food to eat, and I don't have work contract. My job is to seek federal fund and beg federal government to put funds in our constituency, and we use this money to work for our constituency. Well, our constituency is one of the best in the country today in terms of projects. Excuse me. In terms of projects, because as we are working, our foundation, which I put money every year, Orji Uzor Kalu Foundation, are also putting money when they look after the IDPs, look after everywhere they are doing, look after churches, mosques, and all the rest of them. They also look after my constituency and our state. So my foundation is also busy supporting whatever the federal government are bringing to our constituency. So it's just also the same thing, Dr. Kwati. So it's not really I award contract. I'm just a senator. In my office, there is no director of procurement. There is no director of... Some people come and beg me to give them contracts, to give them job to do, to give them this and that. And I get surprised sometimes because they forget I'm just a legislator. But you are right. In my ex, you can see we have done a lot of things for people of our constituency. And that is what democracy should be all about. Democracy should be about the people. I am focusing on the people, and I'm committed to the people. And my party, the APC, are also committed to the people. Things might not be as Nigerian people are looking at it, but it's not totally our fault. There is worldwide reception all over the world because of the COVID. You know, COVID effect supposed to take 10 years. There is a worldwide reception. During this Senate recess, I was in the United States for almost 2 months. So I know, you can check what President Trump is campaigning today. He's telling people that prices of food, prices of this, the food prices are gone up, this, gone up, this. All over the world is the same. It's just that we are not putting our own in the proper frame. And politicians are not being fair to everybody. Politicians think that President Bola Tinubu or President Buhari or President Jonathan or President Babangida or President Obasanjo, that they own the country. They don't own this country. They are just a trustees of a dream. God has put in them. God has a reason of putting every president for a particular time. And for everything all of them have contributed is what we see as nationhood. No presidential candidate, no president is a waste. But because of the hatred of the politicians, they try to paint everybody that everybody is bad. But every president, no president wants to see his people going in the night without eating, going hungry in the night. No president wants to see the people suffering. No president out of anything wants to see people that voted for him or people who believe they are country people to suffer. It's not true. Every president wants to leave a seat better than he meets it.
Well, Senator, if the APC were to run for an election today, perhaps at the presidential level, there are Nigerians who think that with the people saying that they are hungry, that there is too much hardship in the country, with the chief economist of the World Bank telling Nigerians that, in fact, these reforms that have brought nothing but significant hardship should be sustained for the next 15 years. They say, well, that the APC should not be voted for. But naturally, the APC will want to get a second term and remain in power at the center in 2027. What suggestions do you have in terms of what can be done to alleviate the suffering of the people, which you also admitted, particularly about fuel prices, about cost of living, and all of that?
Well, I'm not in the President Tinubu's economic team, but let me be honest to you. The president is doing enough to see how he can nominate these sufferers. He already brought a couple of bills to the National Assembly on taxation, and those bills will be able to sustain most of these things we are talking about. Our duty is to stay as one Senate, stay as one big family, make sure there's no quarrel, and make sure we give him these bills so he can implement them. And I don't work in the executive, Unless you want me to work in the executive, I can be up and doing to tell you. But we are doing everything we can do to make sure that the federal government survives and become better to build back our middle class. I'm very interested in having middle class. Middle class should be sustained, and food inflation is up, transportation inflation is up, everything is up. President Tinubu is maintaining to see what people call the World Bank IMF program. No, he's trying to put structures that can survive the nation. But in putting these structures, people are suffering. That is where I'm at the crossroad. That is where every Nigerian is at the crossroad. Even people who are today criticizing President Tinubu, they hail him for removing the first fuel subsidy. Both Labour Party, PDP, all of them, if you refer to your interviews and everything you made to leaders, they all supported the president for having removed the fuel subsidy, for putting Nigeria. Is it good to remove fuel subsidy? The answer is yes. Is it good to put the naira exchange together to have one exchange rate? The answer is also yes. So how do we move forward? My crossroad I'm finding difficult because I'm at the grassroots. You are not at the grassroots. Possibly President Tinubu is in Villa. He's not in my village in Ibere. He doesn't know how people feel. But the president also himself knows that people are suffering. Because this is one president that have a lot of courage, that also not inside the bedroom like most presidents. He's on the street. He knows that things are bad. So for me, I will ask the president to sustain economic growth by seeing how we can ameliorate the suffering of the masses. As long as we find food and allow the masses to go back to farm, which is clearing the bandits, clearing all the problems we are having, and putting food on their table. We cannot put food if we don't work for it. Nigerian people want to go and live in churches. They want to live in mosques praying to God. Which God are you going to pray? We must pray to God of hard work. We must pray to God of success. We must see to God. How can you shut down Michelin and shut down slug vegetable oil in Abia, and you build churches there, and you think God will come from heaven to give you food? It's not possible. All of us, you and me, everybody must be ready. Tinubu is not the owner of the country. That is a mistake even like journalists like you makes. When you are there speaking big grammar, you will think Tinubu is the owner of the country. He's not the owner. He's just a partaker. Buhari is already in his Daura. Jonathan is there in Bayelsa today. Babangida is in Niger. Abdul Salam is in Niger. Obasanjo is in Ota. So these things, you go, it's a circle. So every Nigeria, I don't see much commitment from Nigerian elites and Nigerian followers. You can see the solars we are putting for people to use back home and transformer. People are cutting it and selling the wires. So how can we survive? You build factory in the east, they cut the wires leading to the factory. How are we going to manufacture? How are you going to be employed? So the thing is something that every Nigeria, both you and me, and the elites and the downtrodden, must come together and agree and ask ourselves, what are we going to do? Are we on track? Are we going to survive as a nation? Are we going to enjoy our nation? If you say one thing, people will... Gossiper has already said, Orji Kalu said he run for president. What is wrong if I run for president? There's nothing wrong. But a political party called the APC, we have a presidential candidate who is just in his first term.
Okay, Senator.
And in every constitutional democracy, a president is given the first right of refusal.
Okay,
and
Senator,
the president must run again if he likes to.
Senator, let's talk about the Senate. Now, a few days ago, I think, the Senate passed a vote of confidence in Senator Godswill Akpabio. I know that you have made the point before that there's no pro-Akpabio Senate or anti-Akpabio Senate, that there is unity in the Senate, which is the point that was made with the endorsement of Senator Kalu. But don't you think that this Senate, you were chief whip in the previous Senate, don't you think that this Senate is too, what do we say now? It's too supportive of the executive.
It's a rubber stamp.
Okay. Yeah,
no, it's a rubber stamp. Why don't you just say what you want to
say? Okay, thank you for that expression. That's just what most Nigerians think. And they say,
no, because that is what all of you journalists, your colleague in another television was just telling me, oh, we are rubber stamp, we are rubber. He was banging it on my head.
Well, but
so I'm surprised you are not telling me we are rubber stamp.
You have contributed the phrase, because in some other jurisdictions, you see parliamentarians who may belong to the ruling party and who will disagree with their party. But it looks like this APC-dominated National Assembly just says, let me tell you, we will rubber stamp it.
Let me tell you, Dr. Akpati, we have disagreed with this president on many occasions. But we just said we are not going to make it public. We are not going to be fighting. We are not going to be part of problems where Nigerians are looking for solutions on how to solve economic problems. We are not going to show journalists that we disagree. But do we disagree with President Tinubu? The answer is yes. And I cannot discuss it in public. It's time without numbers. We have disagreed with him, and we're able to set it up. Well, yes, we are not perfect. Even God himself, what he created, things he created, they are not perfect. So we are not perfect. We'll continue to improve on what we are doing. Senate is a one Senate. We have no problem in the Senate. So any day we have problem, you will know there's problem in the Senate. But for today, we are one Senate. And we don't have north or south. When they say it's northern senator or southern senator, no, we are one Senate. We are one Nigerian Senate, to the best of my knowledge and the knowledge of my colleagues.
Well, you have said if you do not run for president on the platform of APC, in case President Tinubu is running in 2027, that you'll be very happy to be in the Senate and to continue there and to seek further re-election at the level of the Senate. Well, some of your critics say, this is what we are saying, that the Senate is a retirement home for former governors. And what is the attraction with the Senate that you think, oh, this Senate, if I'm just here, I win election from Abia North, is a good place to be?
Ruben, what happens that the more I've just been in the Senate. This will make me the second. I'm just in my second tenure. People have gone to Senate 5 tenures. Why is my own special? I just said I am not running to be president. And you people are pushing me to run to be president against my friend, my president, and our leader. He's the leader of the APC. Why can't you people allow me and allow the sleeping dog to lie? We have a presidential candidate, and he's capable. He still is not capable. So Senate is not a retirement home, but at my stage, the interest I have found, I left my business 25 years ago and been a senator 26 years ago. And the only thing I can run is the Senate. And I'm contributing very well. My constituency will bear witness that I am adding value. The issue is about adding value. And I also very thankful again to President Tinubu for what he has done for our constituency. And I thank President Buhari also for what he did to our constituency. People can go and jump into Atlantic Ocean and get angry. Because it's who that wears the shoes, know where it pains him. So these two presidents have helped our constituency. I didn't serve President Jonathan. I wasn't in Senate during Jonathan. I wasn't in Senate during Obasanjo. But these two presidents have served our constituency very well. And I'm sure, even if our constituency have made mistake in not voting them, if there's election tomorrow, Abia North Senatorial District, if we plead with them and they've seen what the president is aiding them to get, they'll vote for him.
So you really believe that the APC stands a chance in the Southeast in 2027?
I think so, because we plead with our people. It's not about me believing. It's about people like development, apart from the hunger, which is a national thing. It's not only a presidential issue. It's not Tinubu's issue. It's issue because the president of Nigeria, but know that we have a federating unit. We have the components of the governors. The governors should do their job also. So if it's not the national hunger and banditry, I don't have any fear that we'll be flying as a party, but we are working on, it's a work in progress. We'll do our best before the election and plead with people to vote for us. We will do everything to plead with the people, talk to the people, they see what we have done, they will see what, I'm sure between now and the election, the reform that President Tinubu is putting in place will be seen, because it seems we just allow the 36 states to be going. All the blame goes to the president. It is not what I think the country should be. The governors should also take partially part of the blame. If there's any blame, they should work on agriculture. If we want agriculture to be well, the local government should work on agriculture and the federal government should work. Everything is mounted to the federal government. Security mounted to federal. When I was governor, I created the Bakassi in Abia. And it wasn't for family settlement. It wasn't for husband and wife to settle when they are quarreling. It was to settle criminals, and we used it. And I eradicated all the criminals in the place. Go and ask. The records are there. Nobody harass anybody. You can go from Umunochi to Isukwato to Aruchuku to Ohambele to Azumiri and back in Aba without anybody harassing you. It's just that the politicians hate themselves, a lot of gossips, a lot of treachery, a lot of betrayers, a lot of all these things, and these things don't work.
Okay, Senator.
We are created by God to serve humanity.
Senator.
Yes.
We have to wrap up now.
Yes.
Just two questions, and we have to wrap up very quickly. Number one, your view.
I'll be happy to take your two questions if you don't kill me.
Your position, again, on the Nnamdi Kanu matter. And the people of the South is saying the political solution should be applied and Nnamdi Kanu should even be released, following some of the court judgments in that regard.
I'm not going to talk, Ruben, let me be honest with you. I discussed these issues with President Buhari. If you don't know, Nnamdi Kanu is alive, his brothers are alive. I was the one who pleaded before he was given bail before. And I'm pleading again, but this issue is before a court of competent jurisdiction. People should respect the judiciary, for God's sake. I know it's dear to my people. I know it's a matter that is dear to everybody from my area. But this is a matter that's before a court of competent jurisdiction. They should allow that court to hear it. Any matter we should discuss should be on the background, whether presidents will be lenient, whether anybody will be, but this matter is before a court of competent jurisdiction. It's Nnamdi Kalu, my friend. I made the father Eze of their place. The father used to buy tobacco, snuff, from me many years, Campbell snuff. Before I became governor, I used to import Campbell from Kentucky, United States. So the father was my customer. I'm very close to the family. The brothers are watching this interview. They will tell you, yes, it's true. But I cannot take anything for granted. That let us continue. I pleaded with President Buhari. I pleaded with the other security chief. I'm still pleading with them. But solution will come. This before a court of competent jurisdiction. I asked the lawyers, I begged the family to give the judge a chance to do her job. Okay, so that we can come out of it quickly.
Senator,
please.
Finally, what do you have to say to the people of Jigawa State who have lost 169 persons in other parts of Nigeria who are dying because of the hardship, who cannot pay hospital bills? Do you also share the view that they should be patient? What do you have to say to them?
Well, everything in life, people should be patient. And we have said our foundation there, members of our foundation are already there in Jigawa, my private foundation. And the governor is competent enough to handle this issue. The federal government had intervened. The vice president spoke vehemently, and everything possible. Both the Jigawa state government, the federal government, the local government, the CSOs, and everybody can do. And foreign donors are doing. They're doing it in Jigawa. My heart goes to them because it was an accident. Nobody caused it. It's not terrorism. It's not anything. It was just an accident not to happen. And it happened. Moreover, this kind of things happen from time to time. But it's just that our agencies should start taking care on how to avoid this kind of problems, improve on our roads, how they can fight immediately this kind of thing happens. I know you journalists always, when people are hungry, this is why they went to scoop fuel, they died. No, that is not the answer. The answer is that we will continue to build nationhood. This country is more important than anything or anybody is doing. So we should build nationhood to be able to get our people together. This is one country that if it's well harnessed, we will have a great country to live.
Well, on that note, I would like to thank you very much, Senator Orji Kalu, Senator representing Abia North constituency in the Senate of the Federal Republic. Thank you very much indeed.